There we go. So we're going to review Mr. Bojangles from last week. We did some nice analyzation of that song that I played for you. The arrangement, it was so vocal, and our job was to turn it into an instrumental, which is a whole different ball game. Some songs equate better to it than others. There's some that you just can't really duplicate. But Mr. Bojangles, I thought, was one of those that came out really nice. Did anybody get a chance? Just raise your hand. Anybody get a chance to watch the Sammy Davis one? Nobody? So you didn't do your homework. Uh-huh. All right. If you get a chance to watch that, as I said last week, it's very theatrical, which didn't translate for me to make it an instrumental arrangement at all. Just briefly, if you can unmute yourself, what are the components that are going to make up an arrangement? Can somebody tell us one or two? Come on, you have to get with it. It's already 11 o'clock. Kathy. Sylvia.
Rhythm,
Rhythm? Mm-hmm.
instruments that you're going to use.
Say that again.
Instrument that you're going to use.
The instrumentation you're going to use, yes. What else? What's an important thing we have to decide on before we begin? Do you recall that?
Tempo.
Yes, very important. It's never right when you just turn on the instrument, got a rhythm style, and just start. Any person I've ever seen do that, first thing they do is stop it and go back and adjust the tempo. So that's something we want to do right away. We had some interesting sounds that came out of Bojangles. And what kind of sounds did you settle with? What did you like?
I used the Bojangles on the Sterling.
Okay, on the rhythm style, what kind of sounds did you choose?
Banjo, mandolin, acoustic guitar.
Good, good. I like that mandolin. That works really good for this song. Anybody use anything differently that might be creative?
Those were the same ones I chose.
Okay. Yeah, that's how we're going to be able to learn and progress, is that we share information with each other. That's the only way we really can learn on Zoom. So the more you participate, the better it will be for all of us. Does anybody happen to have their computer or tablet near their instrument that you'd be willing to play? I thought it'd be kind of fun if we had somebody else play instead of me.
I'd have to set it up ahead of time.
Okay. Does that mean you'd like us to wait?
Oh, it'd be awkward right now. It'd take me a while to move everything.
Okay. Is it possible for anybody to be able to do that or not? Maybe we'll take that into consideration for next week, so that if you can do it, that would be great, because, hearing from each other is going to be a lot more fun than hearing from me all the time. I was thinking I might make Brian play.
My agent said that I couldn't do that today.
All right, well, let's take a listen to Mr. Bojangles. Again, I am using the Bojangles rhythm style. Obviously, it's a signature for that. So, and I brought the tempo down. Does anybody have a number in mind that they played it at? Because it's kind of fast. What tempo did you use?
150.
Wow. For Bojangles?
Yes.
Who is that talking to me?
Marlene.
Wow. That's really fast.
I started out slow and progressed up.
Really? Good for
Yes.
you.
To me, it's an upbeat song.
Nice
Yes,
job,
it is.
Marlene.
Yes, it is an upbeat song. You're right. Well, I'm sitting at 120 myself right here. And because I think if you can hear it at a speed where you say to yourself, well, I could probably do that, then you're going to be more encouraged than if we just whip off with something really fast that you say, I could never do that. So I put it at 120, slowed it down a little bit, and we'll take a shot with that. How was that?
Pretty.
Good. Good. Anybody have any questions or comments on that?
You look like sunshine this morning.
I do?
You do. Your bright yellow outfit.
Yeah, well, I figured I had to be on Zoom and wake you guys up, so I'd wear something bright and cheery.
Looks good.
Good, thank you. Any questions or comments?
What instruments did you play?
I used the accordion that came on 0, And then I went to the mandolin on 10, the full mandolins. It's just both of those lend itself very nicely to this song. And they're not instruments that we typically use for a lot of different arrangements. So I found it fun to be sounding so different. Maybe you can find another song to use. There's a waltz. I'm trying to think of. Can't think of the name of the song, but mandolins work really great with that song too. It'll come to me, and when it does, I'll shout it out to you. I know one, Chim Chimmery.
Oh,
That's a song that works kind of cool with that sound as well. So we're gonna go to Sweet Georgia Brown, which I believe is page 88. Oh, yeah. Let me just tell you this too. A customer who had 2 of these books brought one in that we can sell. So if you would like to get the book, if you don't already have it, we do have a copy here that is for sale for whoever would like it. Hold the mic up, he said. I don't have enough hands to do everything I'm supposed to do here. All right, so Sweet Georgia Brown. We always think of the Globetrotters, right? That's their theme. And it's really not a difficult song, what you're looking at. However, what I foresee happening is that you'll be looking for the right hand notes, and at the same time, you'll be running out of fingers. And that's a little bit of a problem. So in the musical phrases of Sweet Georgia Brown, there's no time for taking a break. So, what I'm saying is you can't, let's see if we can get on here for a minute. The song setup is actually for razzmatazz, but it comes on really fast, so you'll have to adjust the tempo. I think I worked it for starting out to learn it at 175. And the other thing about razzmatazz, and it is probably the best rhythm for this. It's not to say that you can't find others, especially if you own an aria. You'll probably find others that work as well. But razzmatazz is a very good rhythm for this. But what you will find with razzmatazz is the background is very busy and it's loud. So my suggestion is in using razzmatazz is lower your ORC plus and lock it, because if you don't lock it, when you change your sounds, it's going to go back up to the maximum volume, and it's a little bit too loud, especially because of one of the sounds that we're going to use and talk about in a minute is a very light sound. We know it as a whistle. And then I started thinking about, well, what if you didn't have a whistle? What would you do then? And one of the things we can do if we don't have the whistle is we can take our flute footages, and I would encourage you to try this. The tabs of the flutes, we don't use them very much unless they're automatically coming on, but we have a 16-foot flute. We have an 8-foot flute. Now, they're called flutes, but we call them the organ sounds. So 16, the higher the number, the deeper the sound. So 16 is the deepest footage, if you will, the footage of the flute that we have. So that's a deep one. Then we have an 8. That's a little more lighter. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let you hear them. I'm going to stay on one note, and I'm going to play. I'm going to turn everybody off here for a minute. No strings. All right. So this is a 16-foot. Can you even hear that? Tell me if they're nodding their heads. Can you hear that? Okay. Here's an 8. Same note. That's an 8-foot flute. Here's a 4-foot flute. Here's a 2-foot flute. And a 1-foot flute. That's really high, isn't it? So what, in my experience, what we have found over the years is that men lose the higher pitches as your hearing changes, and women seem to lose the lower pitches. I don't know why that is. I never studied that part of it, but that seems to be a common thread when I've worked with people throughout the years. So 1 for me is a little high, but the 2-foot flute works real nice if you didn't want to use a whistle. Or maybe you want to use a whistle and add the 2-foot footage flute just to have it as a little extra. Now, where do you think I can find a whistle? I got the, Brian says I have the deer in the headlights look. I mean, I know we can touch an orchestral genius, or sound button in the newer cases, and we can scroll to, or we can put in keypad even and touch W and go over and touch your sound button, and we'll get to a whistle that way, but that's kind of a long way around to do it. So I started looking through the category presets, and I didn't find a whistle in the ones I went through, at least not on the symphony that I had available. But where you can find a whistle is on the E bank. That's our novelty bank. If you do E bank number 8, the lower right split has the whistle. Let's see if we can just do that here. Oh, Brian's telling me Nostalgic has it too. Oh, yeah. Yeah, but I can't get it now because somebody's got stuff loaded up in here. So we'll go back to this. So one of the things you can do, that's the lower right split number 8, E8 in that novelty bank if you have it. If not, then try a 2-foot flute, which almost all instruments do have. Or if you have organ sounds on the Easy products, you're going to find your lightest one of the organ sounds that you can get and try that. So I wanted to start with that whistle sound, and then at the very end of the song, if you would please put 2 dots at the very end, because we want to go back and repeat it so we have an arrangement. Otherwise it goes by and it's done. We're going to go back to the beginning, and this time we're going to change the sound. Now the sound I really liked, and I'm going to have to do some fast button pushing, so I'll use my fill to buy me some time. But I went to category presets, and I went to the brass category, and the first one, which is preset 0 for brass category, is the 5 plungers. Did I say plumber? Oh my goodness. Plunger. Yeah, maybe it is plumber. Plungers. And that was a really good sound that would work for the second time as well. We picture it being whistled and hummed and that. So that's the 2 sounds that I used or am going to use here. And when you get to the second page, line 1, measure 3. It's a 3-beat note, and then it's a rest. Well, just play that note and then don't hold it, and that would be a place where you would want to change a sound if you're so inclined. And you can do the plunger there, or and then finish up at the end the second time around with a brass sound, especially if you stayed in the brass category. There's a lot of things you can do with that. So just by a show of hands, does everybody know the song? Yes, yes, yes. Good, good, good. Okay. Anybody not know the song? All right, I don't see any hands, so that's a good thing. Okay. Octavia, you don't know it? Well, then we have to go through it a couple times. All right, so I wanted to talk about the flute footage because I think this is a good opportunity for you to go ahead and use your tabs. And we don't generally go into eBank a whole lot, so that's a little new skill set experience for us as well. Now, if I had to do this for real, and keep it, I would obviously save this to a USB, because if I'm on an eBank, which I can't even get into an eBank right now because, oh, I can go through categories. Yeah, you're right. Let's see. So if I'm on an eBank and then I want to go to brass category, that's button pushing or screen touching, whatever you want to call it. So that's going to take some time. So I would save what I was doing on the USB so that I didn't have any time lapse in what I was doing and could just go from one sound to the next. Now, in today's case, I did not do that. So I'm going to take my fill or FX, if that's what yours is called. You know, I'm going to bide myself time in different ways so that I can change the buttons. But I would recommend that you do everything on an USB. Boy, oh boy, Joanie. Must have been a rough night. Yikes. So we're still totally adjusting to the Zoom and, you know, the frustration of the not being able to have everybody call out what they're thinking. And we're getting there, obviously, and getting a little more comfortable with speaking to you. But, you know, it's still new to all of us. We're all new to it, and we're all kind of learning to get a grip with it. So I'm on the eBank right now in the category, which is that whistle sound. Ooh. And I did turn down my Orc Plus. Don't forget that if you're doing razzmatazz, because it will be overpowering to such a light sound. If you're using a 2-foot flute with it, it's still going to be very, very light. So you'll want to do something with that. So let me play through it, and then we'll talk about some chording and some fingering to help you with your right hand. Okay, so you hear how there's no breaks? Like you never get a rest when you're doing this with your right hand. It just keeps going and going and going. And obviously when we're learning it in the beginning, it's going to be a little bit more challenging. So you should take it real slow. But that the one skill set that needs to be your goal is that you don't take any breaks in between. It's not like you want to find, let's say, this is what can happen to you. And I've probably been in your living room, so I know this. That happens because you're looking for the notes. So we kind of have to make your right hand become pretty independent with the notes, much more so obviously than we're going to be doing anything big with chords, because the chords are not challenging and they're not frequent, which is good because the right hand is the busybody at that point in time. So in that first line, the only way you're going to make it up to that A, from A to A, A to A is an octave, which is 8 notes, and we have 5 fingers. So we have to figure out how to do that fingering. So I used my thumb on A to start, and then my second finger on B, as in boy, finger 3 on C sharp, finger 1 on A, finger 3 on E. So that means you're shifting, you're moving your hand up. Finger 2 on C sharp, finger 4 on F sharp, finger 3 on E because it's right next to the F sharp, and then reaching with finger 5 for the A. That is the finger pattern that will make you not run out of fingers, and obviously that line comes up 2 or 3 times. It's going to be the same fingering each time, but that makes it so that you have enough fingers to cover the notes. So let's see. I wanted to also mention about the intro. What chord am I going to play for the introduction? Does anyone know? You can unmute yourself if you know.
I
Linda?
would start with C.
C, yes, very good. The last chord in the song is C, and that's the key that the song is in, and sounds much better. You don't really want to start with an A or an A7 for your introduction. Make sure you start with the C. All right, any questions so far? Nothing? Oh, go ahead, Lucy. Unmute, Lucy.
Hey, Lucy, you got to click unmute on your screen there. If you have a question. There you go.
Okay. I started late and I don't know the song. So what are we working on?
Sweet Georgia Brown.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
So make
I
a
have a
new
question.
question.
Yeah. How do you get the whistle again? I have a symphony.
It's in E Bank 8.
E-Bank 8? Okay.
Yes. And it's on the lower right split.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else? Okay, so we're going to attempt something new here today. I'm going to ask you to all unmute yourselves. And we're going to do a little echo clapping. If you remember, we did that to try to get the hang of things when you were coming into the store. Well, we can do it here too. And I'll be able to hear everyone clapping, which would be good. And the reason I'm doing that is because You have to be able to get the sequence of the musical phrase, which goes, at least all the way to the second line without taking a pause in the right hand. So if we can feel it in the rhythm, that's a good shot. And then if we have guidance for fingering, the odds are good that you'll be able to do this. So I'm going to turn on the rhythm here. And I'm going to slow it down even slower than I have it right now. Just because when you're first trying to find notes, you're going to have to go slow till your right hand gets used to that pattern of notes. So this is the tempo. And I'm going to play it for you, and then I'm going to clap it for you, and then I want you to clap it back to me, okay? Here we go. Okay? Now, here's how it works. We'll do just a rhythm, just a drummer now. And I'll need 2 hands. Okay, so now I want to hear you all do it. You ready? 1, 2, ready, play. Wow.
I think you got a round of applause, Joanie.
That wasn't real rhythmic. We're going to have to try this again. Let's give it another shot. Let's try it without the beat and give it another shot. You ready? Here we go. Play. Okay. Clap it one more time. Ready? Go. Huh. That was about a medium. One more time, we'll do it. Here we go. Ready? Play. Yeah, somebody was ad-libbing there. Maybe you were using Fake It. I'm not sure. But you see how it goes and goes and goes in the right hand? It's not a particularly real easy song for people to do in the right hand, which is why you don't hear a whole lot of people who play it. Just because you never get a breather through the whole song. It just keeps going and going and going. So that's something that gives some energy to. It's a fun song once you get it, but it's going to take a little bit of, styling work there with your right hand to keep it moving. And if you need to write the fingering in, write it in. I mean, I wrote it for one line just so I could help you. But if you need to write it in for all the lines, that's fine. In this case, it's going to help you to land on the correct notes a little bit healthier. So let's see. Do we have any questions so far? We're going to start with before you have a question, I'm going to start with a C chord for the introduction. We're going to make sure your orchestration is lowered, your orc plus. Take it slow. We're looking for some kind of whistle. And one more thing I wanted to say about the A7 chord, because I don't know, maybe you can see my hand, but when I play an A7, I play a G and an A with my thumb. So as you can see right now, my thumb is turned sideways when I play the A7. I play both notes with that thumb, and then they come right back into my position. So turn your thumb to the right, play it, and come right back. And that's going to save you from moving your hand. Because if you move to do your thumb A and your second finger G, now you're out of that core position that you don't want to get out of. So thumb will take care of 2 keys, no problem, and you should be fine. Okay, Now, questions? How many people like the song?
Oh, I do.
It's a happy song, right?
Yes. Is this
Good.
in the song setup?
I'm sorry?
It's in song setup. I didn't hear that for sure.
Yes, it is. It's in song setup and it sets you up with razzmatazz.
Razzmatazz. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else?
How many times would you play it? 3?
Twice. I'd go
Okay.
all the way through once and then go back and repeat it a second time.
Okay, thank you.
Unless you have a basketball team in your house, then you might want to play it a few more times. All right, so I'm going to do it again now, and I'm going to go to the brass category so that you can hear that the sound from that, which on brass 0 is the plungers. So here we go with this. Okay, how'd you like that sound? Plungers? It kind of seems to fit the song, doesn't it? I think so.
Sounds good.
And I only played it once this time, but you notice that I did a tag ending for the last line. You can do that. Beware of the very last line in the song. That could be a little stumbling block for you. Because it keeps moving. You have to play 2, 4, 6. You have to play 9 notes without hesitating. And without running out of fingers. So that's a little challenging. Just know that it might be a hurdle in the beginning, but you can overcome that as well. Any questions? Nothing? Well, you all must be so brilliant.
My organ is in the other room.
I'm sorry?
My organ is in the other room. So
Gotcha. And I just want to divert for 1 minute and go back to Mr. Bojangles because I forgot to ask, did anybody use with it the golden harp with the guitar pattern?
yes.
Yes, I tried that.
Did you like that?
It added a dimension. to
Yeah, it does add a little bit to it. I was reviewing my notes from last week and I said, oh, I got to remember to ask them if they were able to add that to it because it really does make a little extra special something. So very good, very good. So any comments?
I just was going to comment on the rhythm or the tempo. I think if you hum or sing along with it, sometimes it's easier to get the pattern.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you'll know if you're reaching for a right hand note and you don't land it, in the pattern it should be, you're going to know when you're hesitating because if you're humming the song in your head, That's not the way it goes. It doesn't take any breaks. So it's a little bit of a challenge, but I know you're up for it. I'm totally confident.
Joanie, what tempo did you use?
I just put it down to 170. 170. Now, when we tapped it out, I put it down to 156. Just because I didn't know what it was going to be like to echo clap on Zoom with an organ drummer in the background. So I slowed it down much further. But when I just played it, I actually play it at 170. And I would make that your kind of goal, because it's so busy with your right hand. I don't know how fast you're going to be able to play it. I'm not even sure I would be able to do up to tempo. Maybe I could, but 170 is a nice goal where you can still be humming and feeling the main crust of the song. So, any other comments?
Joni,
Yes.
on the aria, this song set up as Dixieland, so that's probably true for the marquee and grand marquee.
Thank you. Yes. Either works. Let's give the Dixieland a try and see what happens. I'm kind of curious now which came first, Dixieland or Razzmatazz. I think Dixieland's actually older than Razzmatazz, so we'll see how that goes. Let's check the tempo. Dixieland's slower. It comes on at 140. I'm going to pick up the pace a little bit. I kind of like both. Which do you like better? The Dixieland wasn't as busy as Razzmatazz, so if you're inclined not to like so much orchestration in the background, you might end up preferring Dixieland for sure.
I don't like the whistle.
You don't like the whistle?
I'd rather, this last one I like better.
Oh, with the trumpet, because it was Dixieland, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you're allowed.
Joni, what tempo did you select then?
I took the Dixieland up to 160.
Thank you. That sounded good.
It came on at 140, but that was too slow for me.
And what was your razzmatazz?
Razzmatazz, we slowed it down to 175.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I will give you a little break here. On the second page, the very first chord, that G7 chord, you don't need it. It goes by too fast.
See,
And the C is the next chord. The C chord is going to be your really solid chord. So you can just not play that G chord if you want, and it's fine. I didn't play it. So I tried to make it a little bit easier for you. Any other comments or questions? The Zoom classes are Wednesday and Thursday at 2 o'clock, depending on which one you take. And then Friday, of course, is going to be Dawn Casanova and Randy Nemi in concert. So that's going to be really fun. Most people have not heard them, so that's kind of exciting for everybody. It's going to be new. Dawn is very, very good. She sings, she plays wonderfully. And Randy apparently is quite a musician, although I don't believe I've ever heard him play. So I'm looking forward to watching it with you as well. Anything else? Okay, unmute yourselves so you can say goodbye to each other. It's very nice to see your faces. So
Is
glad
there-
you were on today.
Bye.
And we'll see you Zooming and by phone. You know, you can call and say, hi, we're lonely. There's nobody in the store. It's extremely quiet. So jingle our phone and give a little hello. We'd love to hear from you. All righty?
May I, how do you talk to a certain person?
Ask for him.
How do you talk to a certain...
I'd like to say good morning to Sylvia and see how Minnesota is.
Well, Sylvia's in Florida. Sylvia's not in Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
Sylvia is staying in Florida to stay well, although we're
okay.
questioning that at this moment, right?
The numbers in Minnesota are going up now.
Are they?
Okay. Yeah, I know. My daughter's up there.
Yeah, I have family up there too.
Okay.
Okay, wave to each other, say goodbye, and give us a call. Thanks for
I
being
didn't see
here.
anybody. What
Thank you.
Talk
Have a
to
great
you
day.
soon.
Bye. Thank you.
You're
Bye.
welcome. My pleasure.
Thanks, Joanie.
Thank you.
You're welcome.